NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has just captured something that's shaking the entire scientific community. A faint but unmistakable flicker of light coming from deep inside the interstellar object known as 3I Atlas. What was supposed to be another quiet pass of a distant comet has now turned into one of the most puzzling discoveries in space exploration. Some astronomers are calling it a data glitch. Others think it's a reflection, but a growing number of analysts are whispering something far more unsettling, that the lights inside 3I Atlas might not be natural at all. In this video, we'll uncover everything that's led up to this stunning revelation, from the object's mysterious arrival to NASA's silence and the strange patterns hidden within the James Webb data. We'll also dive into the theories spreading online, from alien probes to coded light transmissions, and how this could change everything we think we know about intelligent life beyond Earth. So let's get to the first clue, the arrival of 3I Atlas, and why scientists knew from the very start that something about this object wasn't normal. When astronomers first detected 3I Atlas in early 2020, it immediately stood out. Unlike the countless comets we've tracked for decades, this one wasn't following a typical solar orbit. Its path was hyperbolic, meaning it wasn't bound to our solar system at all. It came from the deep, empty darkness of interstellar space and would never return once it passed through. That alone was enough to trigger worldwide attention, but the oddities didn't stop there. The object's speed, rotation, and faint color patterns seemed off, as though it was made of materials that reflected light differently than any known comet. Researchers tried to classify it as a fragment of rock or ice, but something didn't fit. Its acceleration changed slightly as it moved, as if an unseen force was subtly guiding it. That kind of behavior reminded many of what we saw with Oumuamua back in 2017, another interstellar visitor that refused to act like a normal comet. Scientists didn't want to jump to conclusions this time, but in private discussions, some already suspected that 3I Atlas could be another artificial object, or at least something designed with properties we didn't understand. Still, nobody could have predicted what the James Webb Telescope would find next. Months after its discovery, the James Webb Space Telescope was scheduled to observe 3I Atlas as it approached the inner solar system. At first, the data seemed routine, just a collection of infrared readings mapping the object's surface temperature and gas release. But buried deep in those readings, something unexpected appeared. Within the dark core of 3I Atlas, Webb sensors picked up rhythmic pulses of light, brief, repeated flashes that came and went at precise intervals. At first, analysts thought it might be a cosmic ray interference. But when the pulses reappeared at exactly the same rate across multiple sessions, the room went silent. It wasn't random. The flickering had structure, a pattern that looked deliberate. Some claimed it might be sunlight reflecting off a rotating crystalline surface, but the timing didn't match the object's known spin. Others pointed out that the light originated from inside the object, not from sunlight bouncing off its surface. That made no sense, unless something within 3I Atlas was generating it. The James Webb team marked the data as anomalous and flagged it for internal review. But instead of making an announcement, NASA went quiet, and that's when speculation exploded online. When fragments of the Webb data leaked to independent astronomers, the flickering pattern became public. What they found was hard to dismiss. The light pulses came in repeating intervals, precise, evenly spaced, and persistent. In other words, it looked like a signal. Experts tried to explain it as natural resonance or rotating crystals reflecting starlight, but every attempt failed to match the timing. Natural phenomena are messy, inconsistent, and rarely repeat perfectly. Whatever was happening inside 3I Atlas was far too organized. Even more strange was the location of the light. It didn't appear to travel across the surface like reflected sunlight. Instead, it pulsed from within, as if there were a hollow structure deep beneath the icy shell. Some astrophysicists began comparing it to a strobe, something that seemed to blink with intent. That idea alone was enough to reignite the same debate that surrounded Oumuamua. Could interstellar space be filled with dormant probes drifting between star systems? And if so, why did one of them just light up? When NASA was pressed for a statement, their tone was cautious. They confirmed that unusual photometric activity was observed, but stopped short of explaining what it meant. Then something even more curious happened. The JWST image sets tied to 3I Atlas quietly disappeared from public data servers. Normally, these datasets are released within days for open research. This time, access was suddenly delayed, pending further review. For many, that was confirmation that something significant was being withheld. Independent researchers filed Freedom of Information Act requests to learn more, but NASA's responses were vague, citing ongoing analysis. Meanwhile, a few insiders hinted that the data involved unexpected structural features inside the comet. The secrecy only fueled the fire. The longer NASA stayed silent, the more people believed there was something extraordinary about those flickering lights. The question wasn't just what 3I Atlas was anymore. It was why NASA didn't want to talk about it. It didn't take long for alleged leaked images to surface online. A series of enhanced contrast photos claimed to show faint grid-like structures beneath the comet's icy surface, a pattern too geometric to be natural. Though NASA never verified these, the images went viral. Amateur astronomers began comparing them to previous anomalies seen in other deep space bodies, pointing out that this wasn't the first time a so-called comet behaved like something engineered. The parallels with Oumuamua were impossible to ignore. As the debate intensified, more people started reanalyzing the raw James Webb data. Some found what appeared to be recurring spectral spikes, consistent with some kind of internal energy source. Others dismissed it as data compression errors. Still, the rumor was already out that NASA had caught a glimpse of something mechanical drifting through space, and the flickering lights were the first signs of it activating. Whether that was true or not, the world was now watching every move NASA made. Soon, online codebreakers and astrophiles began testing the light intervals as if they were a message. To everyone's surprise, the pattern loosely aligned with a binary sequence, alternating short and long flashes that repeated over time. A few enthusiasts even translated these intervals into numbers and claimed they formed geometric ratios tied to orbital positions in the solar system. That might sound like coincidence, but coincidences rarely stay this consistent. If the sequence wasn't natural, then it could mean someone or something had built it to communicate. Skeptics were quick to point out flaws in those interpretations. Space light curves are complex, and human minds are wired to find patterns even where none exist. But the bigger question remained, why was the flickering so stable, even as the object moved farther from the sun? If sunlight was the cause, the intensity should have faded. Instead, the pulses grew sharper, as if the source was powering itself. That's when people started calling 3I Atlas the first silent signal from another civilization, a message hidden in plain sight, traveling through the void. The flickering lights reignited an old scientific argument. Harvard astronomer Loeb had long suggested that interstellar visitors like Oumuamua could be artificial, ancient probes sent to explore or observe star systems. Critics mocked the idea as science fiction, but 3I Atlas made that discussion unavoidable again. If both Oumuamua and Atlas behaved unnaturally, could we really dismiss the possibility that some form of technology was passing through? Loeb himself commented cautiously, saying, "If the light pattern is confirmed, it's not unreasonable to consider a non-natural explanation." Meanwhile, more conservative scientists argued the opposite, that the flicker could come from charged dust or ice discharges, similar to static electricity. But that explanation failed to match the consistent intervals seen in the Webb data. The truth was, nobody knew for sure, and the uncertainty itself became the story. Every new image, every update from NASA only deepened the mystery. Whatever 3I Atlas was, it wasn't just another rock from space. It was something that behaved with purpose, and that realization sent ripples across the world of astronomy. As of now, NASA has officially confirmed that 3I Atlas continues to emit irregular but repeating light signals. The agency has classified the object under anomalous photometric behavior and says analysis is ongoing. In simpler terms, they don't know what's causing it. Some scientists believe it's an internal reflection of volatile gases reacting to solar radiation, but others think that explanation doesn't hold up. The light sequence continues even as the object moves farther from the sun, implying an independent energy source. Meanwhile, the James Webb Telescope remains locked onto it during scheduled observation cycles. Independent observatories are attempting to replicate the data, but so far, none have captured the flicker with the same clarity. Every week, new theories emerge, from natural plasma reactions to dormant alien probes waking up. Nobody agrees, and that's exactly what makes this story so captivating. If the flickering pattern changes or strengthens, it could mark the first time humanity has observed something intelligent operating beyond our world. Whether 3I Atlas is a natural wonder or a sign of something far more advanced, it has already forced us to question what we know about our place in the cosmos. For decades, humanity has scanned the skies, hoping for proof that we aren't alone. Now, in a quiet corner of space, a mysterious light flickers with impossible precision, and nobody can fully explain it. The data may turn out to be an illusion, or it may be the beginning of a discovery that redefines human history. One thing is certain: the silence from NASA and the whispers from astronomers suggest we've entered new territory. The universe just blinked back, and maybe, just maybe, we're not the only ones watching.